Pero coño! Ah! I literally did. What?
There are 3 rules when it comes to mogwais. 1, keep them out of bright lights. 2, keep them away from water.
Try
3,
gaslighting
don't
me.
feed them after midnight.
You guys are really hungry.
Remember the rules, but if you didn't listen, might as well make it a feast by making some of their favorites from their very own cookbook. Let's party on with the
What?
Gremlins.
There's a Gremlins official cookbook? What?
Gremlins, the official cookbook with recipes by Jen Fujikawa and written by Eric Burnham, brings us 50 recipes inspired by these crazy little green creatures in the 1984 Christmas classic Gremlins and its sequel Gremlins 2: The New Batch. I just rewatched these 2 movies and I'm astounded by the amount of puppetry and practical effects these films had. Pretty refreshing to see, especially now when movies are so over-reliant on CG. And by the way, Gremlins 2, one of the best sequels of all time. This cookbook is presented like a family cookbook of the Peltzers featuring their favorite family recipes, but then it's also made to look super beat up as if it got roughed up and caught up in all of the chaos caused by the Gremlins. So expect to see old school 80s inspired American classics, but mixed in with all that.
Wait, I want this!
Questionable,
No, I don't
crazy
fucking
recipes
cook.
like gremlin guts and hatching cocoons.
Ew!
I really like how the
Okay, never mind. I don't want this.
really communicates these contrasting
cook.
themes. You see a lot of 80s style imagery with the backgrounds and fonts. Even the photos use dinnerware and appliances that scream 80s. And in the midst of all that, you see all use dinnerware and appliances that scream.
My mom has that. My mom has this. She has the same thing. She has the same dish. What the fuck? Wait, my mom has that dish. She has that bowl. My mom has that bowl. That's my mom's bowl. When we moved to our new house, I was like, "Mom, get rid of that. That's old." And she was like, "No, I have to have this. This is mine." And I'm like, It's just so old. I can get you a new one." She goes, "Now!"
Scream 80s, and in the midst of all that, you see all of these scratches and burns, stains to indicate the mess and chaos of the Gremlins. You can also these scratches and burns.
Oh my god, how'd they get that picture of me? What the fuck? How'd they get that picture of me?
Stains to indicate the mess and chaos of the Gremlins. You can also find a lot of techie props in the photos to capture the science lab themes from the second movie. The nostalgic themes aren't just on display with the visuals, but extends to the writing as well. The intro text for the recipes are told from the perspective of Billy and his parents and often trigger a memory for the movie. Most of the time I'm reading it, I'm like, yeah, I remember that scene. For a family cookbook, though, there's not a lot of photos of their family, but instead there's a ton of photos of the Gremlins and their many different cookie iterations, which is great, because after all, the Gremlins are the real star of the show. There are also some helpful pages at the end of the cookbook, like a dietary consideration chart, some deep frying safety tips, as well as one of the most detailed and comprehensive metric conversion charts I've seen in a cookbook. But my favorite part is this cute little note about mogwai safety tips, which is a callback to the 3 important Gremlin rules mentioned in the movies. I thought that was really cute. But these rules aren't going to stop me from indulging in these Gremlin-inspired family recipes as I make 3 dishes from the Gremlins cookbook. Hope it's not midnight yet. If you've ever watched the hit show Microwave with Marge, you might have seen an episode where a kooky-eyed gremlin pops out of a giant vat of cheesy noodles. Unfortunately, Marge didn't get to finish that dish, but that's where we come in. Let's finish what she started as we make this tuna noodle cheese product chowder surprise. First things first, we're going to cook about 8 ounces of egg noodles in a pot of boiling water for about 8 to 9 minutes until al dente. Then drain them and set them aside, but don't rinse them. Then heat that same pot to medium heat and melt a tablespoon of butter.
I hate those type of noodles. I don't like them.
Then add in half a cup of diced onion, a diced celery rib, and 2 minced garlic cloves. Fry these up for 4 to 5 minutes until soft, and add 8 ounces of sliced white mushrooms and continue to cook for another 3 to 4 minutes. Then remove everything and set them aside. Next, we raise the heat to medium-high, then add in another 2 tablespoons of butter, then whisk in a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour and cook for 2 to 3 minutes before adding in a cup of whole milk and a cup of heavy whipping cream. Keep cooking for 4 to 5 minutes to thicken it and stir in a teaspoon of dried thyme, half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of kosher salt,
I'm
a
not
quarter
egg noodle
teaspoon of
fan.
nutmeg, and a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. Turn off the heat, then stir back in the noodles, the mushroom mixture, 2 5-ounce cans of tuna that have been drained, and a 3/4 cup of frozen peas. Then transfer everything to a grease baking dish and bake this in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. Now you may have noticed that I did not add the tuna in the footage. That's because
No.
I
That
forgot.
was good.
I only
What?
remembered after baking it, so I ended up adding it later and remixing everything in the dish and popping it back in the oven.
That that does not look good to me. That does not. No. I think I'm too Puerto Rican.
Whoops. Now to add the toppings, stir together a 1/3 cup of panko breadcrumbs with 3 tablespoons of melted and unsalted butter. Spread that evenly on top of the casserole and sprinkle on some shredded cheese. Bake for another 5 minutes until golden brown for a warm serving of tuna noodle cheese
maybe he
product
might like
chowder
it.
surprise. Now we can't make Gremlins food without
Maybe
making
he
the
might
dish
like it.
that started it all. That big pile of cold uncovered fried chicken that
Do people eat cold fried chicken? That is so gross to me.
Billy pulled out of his fridge to feed the Mogwais after midnight. We're making our own batch of midnight fried chicken. First, we make the buttermilk
Yes?
marinade in a sealable
What?
container by combining together 2 cups of buttermilk, 2 eggs, a 1/4 cup of pickle juice, a tablespoon of hot sauce, and a teaspoon of kosher salt. Submerge
Why? There's so much. Why you guys use so much milk to cook?
in that marinade 4 pounds of chicken pieces, cover, and refrigerate for 4 hours.
What?
While we wait on that, let's make the dredge in a sealable bag by combining a cup of all-purpose flour, a 1/2 cup of cornstarch, a tablespoon of confectioner's sugar, a tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of garlic salt, a teaspoon of white pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon of
I
cayenne
know,
pepper.
buttermilk.
Once the chicken is marinated for 4 hours, transfer
feel
the
like there's
pieces
just
to
so
the
much
flour
milk in
mixture to
everything.
dredge the chicken. Now we're gonna get ready to
Oh,
fry by
shit.
heating up 4 cups of vegetable oil in a Dutch oven over medium-high heat until it reaches 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Fry the chicken in batches for 10 to 12 minutes each side until golden brown and reaches an internal temp of 160 degrees Fahrenheit. I was kind of having a hard time controlling the heat, and my first few chicken pieces were a bit on the burnt side, but eventually I got the feel for it. When done frying, remove from the oil and drain on a wire rack. Now we have our own mountain of fried chicken to dig into. Just
Fried
make
chi-
sure you eat them
chicken.
before midnight. And finally, since it's the holiday season, let's keep things festive by whipping up a batch of Sheriff Frank's favorite beverage. We're making Sheriff Frank's eggnog. But heads up, the cookbook's version doesn't have the special ingredient that Sheriff Frank adds in the movie.
Put the
For this,
special
we're heating up a
ingredient
large
in.
saucepan over medium-high
More
heat and add
fucking
in
milk.
2 cups of whole milk. Then we're
More
adding to that
fucking
some
milk.
spices.
More fucking milk. More milk.
A stick of cinnamon, 1 star anise, and a tablespoon of whole cloves. Let it all simmer,
I want
then
coquito.
remove
I
from
don't
the
want no
heat
fucking
and set aside.
eggnog.
Now in a large bowl, we're going to combine together 5 egg yolks, a cup of granulated sugar, and 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now let's temper the eggs by adding in the hot milk 1 ladle at a time until fully combined. Transfer everything
More
back to the
alcohol.
saucepan and let it simmer on medium
This
low.
year I will
And
drink an
continue to whisk
alcohol.
for
I'm just
another
kidding. I'm
2
not
to
going to
3
drink an
minutes
alcohol.
until it gets thicker.
But maybe
Strain
I
the
might.
eggnog
What if
to
I
get
do
rid of
drink
the
an alcohol?
spices,
What if
then
I drink an
stir in
alcohol and then
1.5
I come
cups
on
of half and half.
stream?
Then let your eggnog
Like,
sit in the
chat, I
fridge
drank an
overnight. Once
alcohol.
you're ready to drink some, top it
One
up with some
alcohol.
whipped cream and sprinkle some sugar and cinnamon on top. For a festive glass of Sheriff
I'm not
Frank's
gonna do
eggnog,
it.
booze optional. What time is it? It's chow time. Let's dig into this tuna noodle cheese product chowder surprise. Not a bad start. I like the noodle to tuna ratio, good amount of creaminess from the roux, and I like the peas and mushrooms mixed in. The topping was pretty good, but the noodles are where it's at. Super simple and easy to make, and I think this
Just one
recipe is a good
alcohol,
base to be
please.
customized to your own liking. Maybe add some hot sauce or crumbled sausages, maybe
Define
some
one
chicken
alcohol, just
and
one
broccoli.
alcohol, you
What
know,
about
just
shrimp
one little
and Old Bay
alcohol.
seasoning? It's a pretty foolproof recipe, and it could be pretty fun to play around with the flavors. Okay,
Just one
let's
little
have us some
alcohol.
fried chicken. This mountain of greasy crispiness looks glorious. Yep, this
I just
fried
don't want
chicken
alcohol.
ain't bad. Got a nice crisp on the skin, and both the drumsticks and the thighs are well cooked inside and juicy. But me, I'm a drumstick kind of guy. I especially like gnawing on the cartilagey bits by the handle.
Ew.
In terms of the flavor and seasoning, it was surprisingly
I don't like
light.
gnawing
I
on
was expecting more
cartilage.
flavor from the marinade and the dredge because of the amount and the variety of seasoning used in it. I think if I was to remake this, I would probably double the amount of pickle juice, hot sauce, and seasonings. This also reheats very well in the air fryer, and eventually ate all of this during the week. While we're indulging, might as well wash it all down with some rich eggnog. And let me tell you, this is one of the best, if not the best eggnog I've ever had. The warm spiciness from the seasonings hit you right away, and you get hit with the cinnamon, star anise, and
Put the
cloves,
alcohol
which is
in
actually
it.
really delightful. The consistency is perfect, creamy but not too thick. The whipped cream topping is nice to look at, but not necessary. But the one thing I would change is the sweetness. It's a bit too sweet, so I ended up having to dilute it with a bit more milk during the week. And next time I would just have the sugar. So is the Gremlins cookbook any good? I really appreciate the old school feel of the
I guess it's good. I just really wanted to see the food. Well, that was nice. No more milk! You guys use too much milk, bro. What's up with all that milk? There's so much milk. So much milk. More milk. Dun 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 dun.